What's up, everybody? Welcome into episode 99 of the Gridiron Podcast. Why are we laughing? God, we're off the rails already.
You froze right when you were about to do the intro, and Nick and I were just kind of sitting there like, did we lose him
Come on.
already?
We'll do it in editing. Nick can edit it in post, just because
It'll actually all line up perfectly.
I was going to say,
surprisingly,
my video might be off.
Just because
I'm operating
there's
without a
all local
charger right
recording.
now, and my computer is just slowly dying because I forgot my charger at work. So we're going to have an abbreviated podcast tonight. It is episode 99 of the Gridiron Podcast. If you're new here, what we do on this podcast is we talk about our two loves, that being Formula One and American football. I feel like I have to stress that it is American football because the World Cup is coming to the States this year. So if you find our podcast and you think...
The States?
Yeah, and Canada, North America.
Thank you.
And Mexico, yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
roast him for being an American and only thinking about America.
99, the Aaron Donald episode. There.
Yes, the Aaron Donald
no
episode.
other famous numbers
dedicated,
that I recognize.
Yes. Dedicated to no other famous athlete, the Aaron Donald episode only.
Thank you.
Not much to talk about in the NFL world this week, so we're going to primarily talk about Formula One because, boy, we thought this was going to be a boring month because 2 races were canceled, so we're not going to go racing again until Miami in May, but nope, April is going to be an interesting month for sure. We'll tell you all about that in a second. If you would like to follow along, you can chime in on the chat. Nick will throw your comments up on screen. And as always, you can hit us up on the socials. We're on Instagram at GridironPod. We're on TikTok at the.gridiron.podcast. And you can email us as well if you're old school. You can reach us via email at the Gridiron Podcast 3. That's the Gridiron Podcast number 3. Damn those
other two.
at gmail.com. And we're on YouTube as well, Nick.
I have to jump in here, Sean, real quick. I have to apologize for this as I tell them where we are on YouTube. For those of you watching on YouTube, it's messing with me, so I hope it's not messing with you that my camera is mirrored and everything's backward because it's messing with me right now. YouTube.com.
You're very blurry to me. You both are.
Oh,
maybe
well,
maybe I'm the problem.
No, I'm just mirrored. So I'm wearing a hat that says "Run the damn ball," but it's mirrored.
Look, I promise.
YouTube.com/@GridironPod.
I promise Nick's hat doesn't say ner if nid alb lab. Promise it does. It says "run the damn ball," which is good advice for anyone. By the way, guys, real quick. We are approaching episode 100 of the Gridiron Podcast.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. So to you, our listeners, our viewers, thank you so much for joining us along this road as we get to episode 100 here eventually. We're going to do something big for episode 100. Maybe it'll be about the NFL draft. Maybe it'll be about Miami Grand Prix. I don't know. We'll think of something. If you have any suggestions, hit us up on Instagram, on TikTok, email us. We have been getting emails. We have been getting suggestions from you. I'm looking at you, Papa Popper. We appreciate it. But yeah, let us know what you would like to see from episode 100. We're probably not going to do a full-on like best of or like favorite moments thing because that would take Nick way too long to find all of those moments. So we'll do something.
That's what clips are for.
We'll do something,
that's what
though.
Clips are for, but
we're
yeah.
going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate our century mark. And with that, let's get back to episode 99 because we have breaking news out of the F1 world, guys. That would be, and I can never pronounce his name, Gianpiero Lambiase. Did I get that right?
Also known colloquially as GP.
Which is a great name if you're going to work in motorsports.
Which is also the abbreviation for Grand Prix, or as Sean says, Grand
Prix. Yeah. So who is GP, Nick? And why do we care about him?
GP is Max Verstappen's trusted longtime race engineer. And GP is crossing battle lines in 2027, right? End of the 2027 season.
Yes, end.
He's leaving my team. My team is falling apart bit by bit. At this point, I bet you Max will be gone too. Maybe he'll go to Mercedes. Maybe he'll just retire. Nothing. I hate change. I don't like change. There's a hole in the house. I don't like change.
Max is going to retire. I don't want to have to be the one to tell you. I've been floating this for over a year now. And then this season, he is letting it all out there that he does not like the car. He does not like the regs. But you're right. This is a big, changing of the guard for Red Bull since we all started watching it. Adrian Newey is gone. Christian Horner, thank God he's gone. Helmut Marko, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. But GP was one that, as long as Hannah stays, I'm happy. But GP was one I was a little surprised by. But it does feel
not
like
only is he leaving
end of that era of Red Bull.
Not only is he leaving, I think he's leaving at the end of this year. He's taking 2027 off because it's one of those rules where you have to, it's like the old transfer rules for college sports here in the States where you had to sit a year after you transferred. Now you just go wherever you want. So I think he's just sitting 2027 out, and he's going to McLaren in 2028. Really? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
I saw end of 2027.
That's when the deal kicks in, but I don't think he's going to be at Red Bull in 2027.
So leave Red Bull for McLaren in 2028, and we will verify this accordingly.
Yeah, we don't need to be spreading misinformation on the podcast.
No, we don't.
Why?
There's enough of that in today's world, right?
This is what the Google machine is for.
Why, Sean? What happened?
So much since our last podcast. Just
Red Bull has confirmed he will leave in 2028. No specificity about if he's going to be working in 2027 on F1.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I've been
either way.
All about
he will be a McLaren in 2028.
We need to confirm that part.
For multiple millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars
Pinky
for GP.
out.
The man who is quite skilled at bickering with this driver in the most kosher way possible.
And just sometimes telling him to shut up and drive.
Shut up and drive. Shut up and... Come on, Rihanna?
No, we know, Nick.
Yeah,
we know that
know.
song.
We're very aware. To me, this is one of those moves, guys, by the way, that is just... Again, like I said, April was supposed to be boring. April was supposed to be the time when Formula One and the FIA were supposed to tweak the regulations that have been awful to start the year, and they are going to do that. We'll talk about that in a second. But again, GP leaving Red Bull, leaving Max to go to their rival McLaren in 2028 for millions of dollars. That is the news of the day, and I think this is going to send a ripple effect down the rest of the paddock.
The news of the day. Sorry. Yeah, I agree. It's another sign of the once dominant team slowly crumbling, and McLaren flexing their financial might to pull one of the most talented engineers, I would say, or at least one of the most accomplished engineers on the grid into their paddock. Hopefully for what will still be Lando and Oscar Piastri. Can't quite guarantee that at this point, but it makes all the sense in the world. It feels like McLaren on the way up, Red Bull on the way down, or Red Bull entering a transition period. I'm trying to make a cross-sport comparison to like an NFL team that has done this, where like their best days are clearly behind them. And the only one I could look at is the post-Tom Brady New England Patriots. Except Red Bull hasn't really lost Tom Brady. I guess you could say they lost Bill Belichick. It's not a one-to-one comparison, but I mean, the Patriots devolved into nothingness until they had the rapid turnaround.
It could be Kansas City Chiefs. They go from in the Super Bowl to not even making the playoffs.
It's too early. It's too early for that, I think. But I hear what you're saying.
No, it is. I agree to disagree, my friend.
It was a lot more brief of a run at the top. Could we say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Bruce Arians, Tom Brady? They had those 2-3 years where they were one of the best teams.
They still made the playoffs.
And the way the Red Bull won, the Bucs didn't win like that.
No.
They came on strong at the end, but yeah, they weren't like that. The Patriots had almost 2 decades of dominance. I mean, they had their down period, but they made 10 Super Bowls. Like 10 Super Bowls. That's insane. That's probably the closest equivalent. 10, not 9, not 8. 10.
Either way, this will send ripple effects down the paddock, and so will the other rumors of the day, guys. Not necessarily the news of the day, but the rumors of the day. The rumor is that McLaren team principal Andrea Stella is leaving McLaren for Maranello.
I didn't hear these rumors until this exact moment.
Wait a minute, really, Katie? Am I telling you this for the very first time? Blue Jean Baby.
Yeah, you're telling this for the first time.
No, it's very sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, rumors are that Andrea Stella is preparing to leave McLaren to go to Ferrari.
When is this going to take effect?
I have no idea.
I really am just hearing this for the first time.
No, this has been all over the message boards.
I'm seeing rumors, potential move. from 2028. No, see, this is too late for Lewis. I need this to be a next year thing because Lewis still hates his engineer. And I can't blame him. They don't leave him alone. They don't leave him to it. We just leave me to it. Yeah, leave me to it. No, they still don't do it.
The amount of times he's politely told them to please shut the hell up while I'm driving.
Yeah, leave me to it. Like, get out of my ear, man.
If Andrea Stella, though, is going to leave McLaren for Ferrari at whatever time, if this does happen, and normally, like, when rumors start happening in the F1 world, they're like 99% going to happen. Like, I really can't remember one where it was just all rumor. Maybe Fernando Alonso dating Taylor Swift.
Oh, I forgot about that. What a weird, fever dream that
Sean, I'm going to ask you this, and I'm just going to take it out in post right now. Put your mic on the table.
I was just about to text the group.
I can just hear. I was going to do the same thing. We're just going to do this live.
So much.
I could just hear your hand on the mic. All right. Anyway, continue. So, will you cut it out? See, now it's going to make it into the show.
Will you knock it off?
I will. So help me God, I will hit you with my ring hand.
I will turn this podcast around. So help me God.
Right now, it's condensation. It's forming on the outside of the inside of the window. Yes. To liven up this for a moment, this is actually pretty significant. These, like, I know it's essentially like offensive coordinator changing teams, but in F1 it matters a lot. Like the engineer driver relationship matters a lot, and we can point to Lewis Hamilton's strained relationship with his engineer at Ferrari over the first year plus 4 races, or however many we're in now. I think, is it 3? I've lost track because we have this massive break. 4. Australia. The most recent one was Japan. We did China and 3. Okay, 3. Thank you, Sean. See, math is hard. I am 33 years old and math is still hard. And Katie's dropping shit. This show is completely off the rails. But I do think that it speaks to the fact that F1 is in a transition period. And it's not the only transition, Sean and Katie, that we're going to experience. Not in the next 2 years, but in the next few weeks. And what is that? What did big, bad FIA decide to do?
Well, in the aftermath of 3 races, which they say produced some amazing racing and some amazing overtakes, agree to disagree, they're going to take a look at the regulations as they stand and tweak some of them. Some of them will be immediate, starting Miami. Others will be, or others are going to take longer to kind of implement because you can't just change regulations 3 races into a season. Like these teams.
Wish you could.
Honestly, could we just go back to last year's cars and then just say
you could just take them out of the mothballs? Just
like I know Williams would want to do that. I know McLaren would want to do that. Ferrari, Mercedes,
Red Bull
would want to do that. Yep. Oh yeah, but yeah. So
I spent
the FIA,
a pretty good portion of.
No, go ahead, Katie, please.
Sean, I think you're on a delay today. I'm sorry.
This is like me doing TV. I did mock draft live yesterday, and I stepped on Mikey M, our host's toes, like twice, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. There's a delay.
Isn't technology so fun and beautiful sometimes? All I was gonna say is I spent a surprising portion of my day on Reddit today, just looking at different threads of people bashing the new regulations, just so I could feel reassured in everything that I'm feeling. And yeah, like people are very rightfully pissed, and anyone who's listened to me on this podcast ever this season, I obviously don't like the regs. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of growing. People are getting more frustrated with what they're seeing, and I don't think the Ollie crash helped. Any of the discourse surrounding the regs.
No, I think the Ollie crash actually it didn't help the discourse. It helped those who were calling for change.
Yes. You're right.
See, this is dangerous.
And that was the biggest thing that the drivers and the Drivers Association were trying to convey to Formula One was, hey, if other cars are trying to harvest energy for these batteries, because remember these regs, it's a 50-50 split between engine and battery. If some drivers are trying to harvest energy and recharge their batteries while other drivers are deploying it, we are going to see a gap of like 90 kilometers per hour. And that is going to cause some really dangerous situations, which happened in Japan. So
my brain hurts. What the hell is a kilometer?
Stop.
Oh 90 kph to mph. Continue, Sean. Sorry. 55.9 miles per hour. Yeah. Okay, now I understand. That's a big difference.
Bravo, Nick. Bravo.
Well done.
They never said I was smart.
So essentially, I think the rule they're going to implement now, or like whatever they're going to change, it's going to be a difference, okay, in how energy is deployed in the car. So no longer is it going to be a 50-50 split, which was kind of one of the selling points of this regulation era. It was smaller cars, better racing, and a 50-50 split in engine and in battery. And they're getting rid of one of those regulations already. The other list of things that they're going to tweak are numerous, and also I don't understand any of them because I'm not an engineer. So I'm not going to list them for you.
Okay, well, I actually want to know some of these details because I thought I saw, and I can't confirm this again, this is not spreading of misinformation, but a genuine question. I thought I saw that they were going to reduce the amount of energy that you could deploy per lap. You could use active aero at any portion on the track instead of what we used to know as DRS straights. Yes. But then I also saw that they increased the limit for super clipping to charge the battery, which seems to fly in the face of reducing the total deployable battery, doesn't it?
All right, so here's the list, okay?
They've gotten themselves in a mess.
They really have.
Math is hard.
When you have 6 points that you're going to change over the next several years, you've dug yourself a hole. Okay, so they're going to, yes, Nick, you said, raise the super clipping limit from 250 kilowatts to 350 kilowatts. I don't know what that means necessarily.
So that means you can super clip more.
Okay, that's not
Or
good.
maybe you can super clip at a higher rate so that you don't have to super clip as long. Maybe that's what it is. See, F1 for dummies right here, baby. Gridiron pod. Let's go.
They're going to improve energy efficiency to extend deployment duration. Professor Shook? Okay.
The answer is C. Move on.
They're going to cap maximum energy recovery per lap at 6 megajoules or millijoules. I don't know what MJ means. I know something joules.
Yes.
Okay.
So this makes more sense because then you think if you cap the amount of battery you can recharge, that makes you more conservative with your deployment of your battery. Theoretically, right?
I like how Nick is like becoming Bill Nye right in front of our eyes.
Nick
Shook, the science guy.
Shook, the science guy.
Shook.
Why is his name escaping me right now? Who's the astrophysicist?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, yes. What we don't know about gravity is... continue.
They're going to remove activation restrictions on active aerodynamics, usable anywhere on circuit. So those are the active aero that you were talking about. So you can use active aero anywhere on the straight now.
Like, okay, so I'm sorry, I don't mean to butt in again here, but just, again, theoretically, to wrap my small brain around this, does, in theory, if you're allowed to use active aero wherever you want, like the idea of active aero is to reduce drag when you're on straights, at which point in the past you would be going flat out. They're not even going flat out. Sometimes they're downshifting on the straights. We've covered this on the show. I honestly think this could open a can of worms for traction because the idea of your aero, your wing is to create downforce, which then creates grip, which allows you to corner at higher speeds without losing complete control of your car. So if you're able to use your active aero selectively throughout the lap, it increases the margin, not increases it, it minimizes the margin for error, right? It increases the possibility that you could make a mistake and lose control of your car. But you would think, again, in theory, that it would shift the reliance on the battery more toward the rest of the car instead of just the battery if you're able to minimize drag at any point on the track. Let's say you come out there with a package, like I just can't think of words today, but a setup of your car with it that's like more built toward having more downforce and being able to corner at a higher speed, and it's all built around your active aero. It seems like it opens up the possibilities for different trims of the car to be able to create a competitive advantage that's not just solely reliable on the battery. That's my long-winded way of trying to make sense of this, and this is why I'm not a teacher.
It amazes me that you didn't go into engineering, Nick.
There's still time.
They are going to increase the ICE/MG UK power ratio from 2027 on at the earliest. So that is, again, you have a 50-50 power split between the battery and the engine right now. They're going to maximize the engine output. And then they're going to simplify regulations to give drivers greater direct control.
Cool. That That very ambiguous final line is exactly what I need to make it make sense for me. Godsend, loyal viewer of the Twitch stream, says, my brand is expanding listening to Shook right now.
And all of these were forced to happen.
Thanks for watching.
All of these were forced to happen, by the way, because the first 3 races, a lot of people recognized that the overtakes that we were seeing, and there were a lot of them, were very artificial. A new phrase had been coined on the broadcast, pass and repass, because all drivers were doing were passing, losing their battery power, then the car behind would charge their battery and pass again. It was just this yo-yo effect. And I kept hearing Alex Jake say the phrase pass and repass. I don't want to think about repassing. When you pass someone, that should be it. That should be the end of it. Okay? But no, there was pass and repass. And then in Japan, what everybody assumed was eventually going to happen happened when Ollie Behrman was going flat out down a straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was deploying his battery, and Franco Colapinto in front of him was charging his battery. Now, Franco did move over a little bit to his left-hand side, which he should not have done, but he was also kind of trying to press the buttons on his steering wheel to, harvest the energy, so it wasn't 100% his fault. Ollie Behrman going flat out reacts to the slight movement in Colapinto, loses his car, winds up in the wall, a 50G impact, and injures his knee. Thankfully, it wasn't a severe injury. He basically just bruised his knee. But seeing him get out of the car limping, this was every driver saying, see, we told you this would happen. Imagine if there wasn't a runoff area. Imagine if we were at a smaller track like Monaco. This could have been fatal.
Imagine if that was the castle, man.
That's literally what I was just about to say. Imagine this happening somewhere where there is virtually zero runoff, like Baku. It blows my mind. Like, that was a 50G crash. That's 308 kilometers. Nick, I'm not going to do that math for you. But this was such a scary crash that happened somewhere where there was a lot of runoff. And look, like, I get chills even thinking about that crash right now. It was so scary. And it was so scary, like you said, Sean, watching him limp out of it. So not only is the product worse when I watch it, I'm not enjoying the season. I'm not enjoying what I'm watching. I feel so worried about the safety of these cars. Truly.
Yeah.
And like, this crash happening here was so scary. I can't imagine anywhere where the walls are close like they are.
We with this in mind, we didn't do a post-race show after the Japanese Grand Prix. That was weeks ago now. But I do want to go back on what I said, which is that I was a fan of the regs. That race right there was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Thank you. Welcome.
I don't like the regs. I've officially shifted away from it. They do create captivating racing, but it's manufactured. The safety issue, like you just described, I am not a fan, and I hope that these changes produce some sort of improvement.
It was almost like a yo-yo effect, because after Australia, all 3 of us were like, I don't know about this, man. After China, Nick and I repassed, right? We repassed.
I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're like, hey, actually, these rigs produce some pretty decent racing. China was exciting. Let's see what happens in Japan. And then Katie repassed us because these rigs are terrible. They are manufactured. They are fake. They are hollow. And they are dangerous. Okay. Nobody, no
Some of us have been out front the whole time.
Katie was a day one. Katie was a day one hater.
I have been Max Verstappen 45 seconds ahead of everyone else on hating these fuck-ass regulations. But I'm someone that I don't have any interest in battery deployment or managing software. They've taken so much out of the driver's hands that the world champion of battery deployment is not interesting to me. That does nothing for me. I miss, yes, who builds the best car, but then also who's willing to take the most risk, who breaks the latest, who has the biggest cojones. Like, this is so boring to me. I don't give a shit about all this artificial passing. I would rather take good, hard racing than a bunch of overtakes. And man, you know who said it best? And sure, she was talking about America when she said it, but
Here we go. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt. To quote the late, great Eleanor Roosevelt, sure, America is all about speed. Hot, nasty, badass speed. Sean just leaves. He drops
and that's when Sean exits. And if I had to guess, he's either gone or he's either his laptop died or he's lost some sort of connection. But Katie and I are going to carry it from here. And this is probably going to be the shortest episode in the history of the Gridiron Podcast. We just don't have all that much to talk about. But Damn it, Katie, you are absolutely right. Sean is recording on a new track, Riverside has told me. I think he's reconnecting. There he is. He's back. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the club in which you get booted for no reason and then come back. Hasn't happened to me yet. Still got time for it to happen.
I was going to say,
sir.
tap the Katie a few times. Happened to me for the first time. It's okay. It happens to all of us.
Oh,
Death
I think
cometh for us all.
That's okay. I'll fix it in post. It'll be fine. We're just going to continue rolling. What else do we have on the docket here? Given that we're essentially at consensus here on these regs, we've talked about the engineers changing. We still have weeks before another race happens. I feel like I'm in the extended summer break that I never wanted, which is crazy because when you're a kid, you always want breaks, right? Winter break, summer break, spring break, you want it all.
Yep. I don't want this F1 break. Although, that being said, I don't know if we didn't do this podcast if I would renew my F1 TV this year. Like, I don't know, because it's a lot of money to spend on it.
That is a statement.
I would still be watching the season, but I don't know if I'd be getting up at 6 a.m. to watch a race. Like, maybe sometimes I'm just watching the race highlights. And since I've fallen in love with F1, I'm someone that I've watched all the practices and all the qualies and been and gotten up at all sorts of ungodly hours here on the West Coast.
That's the
I
thing
feel
that I
so
still battle
deeply
with,
uninspired by this season. I just don't know if I would invest in it both mentally and emotionally, but then also financially. Like F1 TV is expensive. I don't know if I would renew it. And every other year, it's been an absolute no-brainer for me because I've been so obsessed with this sport since I started watching it. It really, really feels like the integrity of it is so different. It's diminished to me for now. We'll see how it goes moving forward, but I just feel very tired already of the product that we're seeing, and I don't even feel that sad that it's gone for all of April.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's crazy about it is in the moment, I'm captivated. Like, I am entertained. But at my core, I hurt for the drivers because I know that they're not racing the way that they've always raced. That it's something different that none of them really enjoy unless you're Mercedes. Winning's fun, but is winning all that fun when you're racing in a completely different manner than you were before? It's not like you changed spec series or anything like that. Like, you are flat out in the top division of racing in the world, and it's not raced, it's not testing your driver's ultimate and elite ability. It's just like, who can press the buttons at the right time.
The car is doing so much of it now, and that is just not interesting to me. I
don't like that. Hi, Sean. Are you leaving? Can you talk? We can hear you.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, our good comrade. Sean.
There he goes.
To our brother, Sean. It won't be the same without
There
you.
he goes. Oh, he just waves goodbye and just salutes. He's
my God. I feel like, Nick, it's only ever been you and I when he goes to let Yins or Bob in the door. And then still, whenever it's just you and I, we still somehow always find a way to go directly off the rails.
Yeah, so here's the thing, Katie. I would, in some scenarios in which you lose what is our main host, right? Sean driving the ship, driving the car, I would feel a little anxious, tight. I'm chilling, man. I'm just relaxed as can be right now. We're just hanging.
You are a former host.
That's true.
Do you remember those days? You hosted forever.
Oh, yes, I do. And then we wisely turned it over to Sean, which was a big load off of my plate.
I would freak the hell out because I've never hosted this show, and I don't know if I ever want to.
Oh, you'd be fantastic at it. You're a natural. Let's not pretend like you aren't. I'm gonna go check the notes real quick and see if we have anything else in here because I really don't think we do. But you know what I do think we should do is produce a call to action here on what is going to be the shortest podcast in the history of the Gridiron Podcast. Also, it's not showing up here on Riverside for me to surface, but Logan is in the chat and he says, "I'm so back. Hope everyone is having fun."
Hi, Logan.
And then
Welcome back.
only in F1 could people be mad about back and forth battles. And you're right, Logan. That's true. And also our friend Madden is here. Katie would be a great host. See, Katie.
Oh, thank you.
Your Canadian ally has your back. You would be a fantastic host.
Well, Lord knows America doesn't have our back anymore, so we got to band together.
That is a can of worms that we probably aren't going to open here, but
we aren't going to open it because of where you guys live and where you guys work. There's a lot that I don't say on this podcast. Things that I would say, like I can't say, like America shouldn't be holding any events. But I won't say that because I can't on this podcast.
Madden says, laugh my ass off. She ain't wrong.
I mean... But that's
spot the lie. I cannot spot the lie. Katie, episode 100 is next. What should we do for episode 100? What should our listeners look out for?
This feels like a nice little chaotic, like, Christmas Eve of our 100th podcast. I think we should do a mailbag.
Yeah.
Let us know for those that are in the chat right now if that's something that you would engage in. Papa Popper sent us a really incredible email with a bunch of detailed questions about us and our interests and things like that. But it kind of did spark the idea of a mailbag could be really fun and a good way to connect. Connecting with the listeners is like the reason we do this. We talk, the three of us, all the time. We do this for you, the loyal listener.
This is for you, man.
This is for you, man. But yeah. If you guys would be into a mailbag, I can throw something up on our Instagram or just send us an email.
And you can find us at the Gridiron Podcast 3. That's the Gridiron Podcast number 3.
Damn those other two.
Can I do it too? Yeah. At gmail.com.
I feel like Sean is the one that holds us together because my instinct is to be like, fuck those other two as soon as he's
we'll leave it at that.
He really does hold us together. But yeah, reach out and let us know. I cannot believe it's been 100 episodes. And this is just of the Gridiron Podcast. How many did we do together of the Sean and Shook show featuring Katie Caldwell?
That's a good question. I
think we did at least 40.
Yeah, it's probably around that range because that's when we started picking up actually being pretty consistent because prior to you being onboarded against your will.
Actually, there is one clip that we should find. It's the end of that episode where I was a guest, and it's you saying, and then our third co-host, Katie Caldwell, and on the pod, I think I was like, I don't consent to this.
You were like, wait, what? I was like, yep, Katie's going to be our new third co-host.
And Sean is looking at you
aboard.
like, we didn't talk about this, bro, and I stuck around.
And then the logo got changed to featuring Katie Caldwell, written in red against black and white. So it really would pop out. Now here we are on the precipice of 100 Gridiron Podcast episodes. And we thank you, the loyal listener, those of you that tell your friends, those of you who are consistently subscribing to us on YouTube. It's slowly but steadily growing, as we are across many platforms. We appreciate all of you as we dive deeper into F1 once it returns. And before you know it, the NFL season will be back. The draft is around the corner. I have talked more about my mock draft that I did this week than I ever thought I would. Go check out NFL Daily. We did a recap of it on that.
I didn't know you were a mock draft guy.
I am now a mock draft.
Oh,
I
was
wasn't a mock draft guy.
I thought I had taken in every piece of Nick Shook content. I've never seen one of your mocks, but
no, now you got a new one. It's a whole new arena.
I love
just when you think you've ironed them all out, you find one more wrinkle over there. Can't ever finish it.
And I am doing zero draft coverage relative to last year because I lost my job. So that's
because the sports media business sucks. So if you want to hire a highly talented Canadian gal named Katie Caldwell, highly talented, highly knowledgeable, a pro's pro.
Yeah, this is
you
a good
can
demo
email us
reel
at the
for
Gridiron.
Yeah, we've really presented our best this specific episode, so this would be the one that I would put forward as a demo.
Yes, this is undoubtedly our best product because we barely had anything to talk about. The draft is in 2 weeks. I am not going to mock draft anything. You can check all that out on NFL.com. Mock Draft Live is on YouTube. We'll probably talk about the draft once it happens. Maybe if there's a hot topic like is Ty Simpson deserving of a first round pick? Maybe we'll do that on the show. I don't know. But mailbag. And you know what the best part about the mailbag that I'm most excited about? Obviously, it's the listeners' submissions, but it's also how many times does Katie's Canadian A come out when she says mailbag?
Mailbag.
Because she did pretty well
Flag.
there. She came out a little bit in the first one. The second one was very normalized, but I just, as we get deeper into the mailbag episode, how many times is she going to say mailbag?
Man, I've worked really hard on, which now I'm a bit sad about this, but I worked really hard on kind of pushing down my Canadian accent when I lived in Nashville, because anytime I would say sorry, it was a dead giveaway, and then everybody only wanted to talk to me about Canada. But yeah, bag is where it really will come.
Yep. But, well, I mean, you could also be from like Minnesota, so
Yeah, I do love the people of Minnesota. When I'm around other Western Canadians, you wouldn't even recognize my voice. It really comes out around my friends.
We all hope one day to experience that. We definitely do. All right, that's it. We're going to end this here at 35 minutes.
Look at that.
The shortest episode in the history of the Gridiron Podcast. R.I.P. to Sean's computer battery and his connectivity and his ability to hold his microphone and not make a bunch of wrestling noise with his...
That was chaotic.
I can't wait. That's gonna have... Oh, God. Why did I feel like I felt that when you did that? Yeah, like I'm a little like... This has been episode 99 of the Gridiron Podcast for Sean Barie and Katie Caldwell. I'm Nick Shook. Next week, not next week, but next time, and it won't be next week because there's no races. Soon, we'll be back, all three of us. And hopefully Sean will be in a more stable situation with his internet.
Hopefully I will be too, just personally.
On that note, as Sean says, live life in the fast lane. Hey, Katie, it's your job to say the last word now.
Well, good night, Canada.
Perfect.